Wait. Cheers. I want to tell you everything that I have learned, whether it's like a personal experience or a literal fact that I just didn't know. But things I've learned going from being a cardio only girly, or I should say like cardio, a little bit of resistance, right? But from taking on this new like weightlifting, weight training journey, because I'm very much still a beginner, but I've been thinking about it recently and I have learned so much, as I should. But so I do know that a lot of people that watch my videos, they're from all different sorts of fitness backgrounds, right? Maybe you were a super fresh beginner like myself. Maybe you were or are on a weight loss journey. Maybe you are very experienced. Like I know there's a lot of different categories. However, something for me is I always felt like this topic, like weightlifting and like training, always seemed something that was so intimidating to me as someone without experience. So I really want to talk about that. I want to break the barrier, you know? It's like, I look back on it and just wish I knew or researched or tried things a lot earlier than I did. But I'm trying now, and that's what matters, right? Protein coffee is the best thing. I'm back in my caramel latte grind. A reminder that obviously protein is really good for building muscle, right? That's why all the lifters and whatever are so big on their protein, but protein is actually also good for weight loss. I feel like protein is essential no matter what your goals even are. And starting your day with protein gets you a step ahead, can help minimize some cravings, get you full. Like if you're a big coffee lover, I cannot recommend protein coffee enough. Coffee's gone, let's get ready to work out. So if you don't know my history, basically I was a die-hard walking girly for over a year. I still love to walk, but that is what got me to kind of lose weight and start exploring the whole fitness world in the first place. Obsessed with the 12-3-30. I still do that weekly. But I really just kind of stuck to cardio. And it wasn't until about this past summer that I tried to get more into weights. An all black moment, always good for the gym. Personally, I find for me that it is easier mentally to get myself to work out earlier in the day, knowing that I'm going to do weights and not just cardio. I don't know if it's because I get really sweaty doing cardio and tired, you know, it takes a lot out of me and like something about that makes me want to procrastinate or what, but I like get more excited to go work on weights. It's easier on the mental. I have come a long way, right? Like working out, especially when you're new to it, it is hard to stick to it. It's hard to start when it's new and it's challenging. Like the more you do it, the easier it gets, right? However, something to think about too is like, if you dread it so much, maybe try a different form of workout. Like I said, I was a big walking girly for over a year. It's not like I hate walking, but I have become to like weights more. In a sense. I still love my cardio days. I hop on the treadmill, I do the 12-3-30 and walk like forever. My hair is so staticky, I'm putting oil in it right now. But I don't know, like just something about the weights, it's easier for me to get there and easier for me to get started and feels like less of a drag. So another reminder that trial and error will always win. Keep trying. When you get bored of something, explore something new. You know, you need to be changing it up to keep yourself entertained because there's nothing worse than getting bored or burnt out of a workout routine and then you just want to quit. Instead of quitting, try something different and something new to keep you engaged and maybe spark something else in you. Okay, moving forward, please keep in mind this is me speaking from my own experience, right? For example, if weights are easier on the mental for me, it doesn't mean they're gonna be for you. I'm speaking from my own journey, my experience, my learnings, my findings, and I don't have any formal credentials. Just experience and a great mindset and positive attitude. I'm making a smoothie bowl. You already know how much I love the Ninja Creamy. Half a banana, some strawberries, blueberries, strawberry milkshake protein powder, and a little oat milk. The Ninja Creamy makes it the best consistency. Cinnamon roll nut butter on top. This is the best stuff ever. I could eat it by the jar. I'm sorry I'm sharing this because they literally don't sell it anymore. Obviously I know and I recognize very much every single day that not everyone can customize their schedule to the extent that I can, but it is really important to find what time or what order or what fuel, just the routine that works best for you. Time to work out. First, warming up on the treadmill. I'm gonna do like 10 minutes of incline walking. The next thing I learned is that correct form when doing different exercises is way harder than I thought. I grew grew up doing cheerleading, gymnastics, and dance. So a lot of that, you kind of learn body awareness. And so I just kind of thought with that background, I would be able to kind of like jump in and like know what feels right and stuff like that. But oftentimes I find myself checking in, correcting form, all of that so often, which is great that I do that, but that is something I think I underestimated, which is okay. You just gotta be checking in with yourself. It's all a learning experience, just like every other part of this journey. Along with that, people are so nice about it. I recently posted a week of workouts video or different videos showing me doing more weight training since it's been such a big part of my life lately, and I will straight up be like, hey, I'm trying my best, I don't know if I'm doing this right. The comments addressing those things are so nice. Like, people want to help you. You know, you can't be afraid of doing something wrong. What matters is that you try and you're open to learning, right? Like, I appreciate so much when someone takes the time out of their day and is like, hey Morgan, I noticed your knees are going inward. What helped me fix this is do this. Like, that is so nice. The community is insane. Like, people are nicer than you think. Not that I think people that watch my videos are these villains, but I just mean the gym and weightlifting and all of that. The community aspect can be very intimidating, but people are nice, okay? When someone sees you trying to better yourself, like, they're not gonna bully you for it. I mean, hopefully not, but this is my experience so far and it's been great. Online is different than in person in a gym, but it's something that's so important and so impactful. It's amazing. And when I move in January, I will be going to a gym instead of working out in my little bubble at home, and I'm excited to experience this in real life. It is an apartment gym, so there will be less people, it's smaller, whatever. But I don't know, I'm excited to see what it's like, and I'm a little less scared. I will be scared when I get there, I know that, but this is just so uplifting, and thank you for that. Another thing is that sweat does not equate to a good or a bad workout. I feel like this is something that should be known, or maybe is well known, I don't know, but I feel like it's kind of a mental thing. Sometimes you think like, oh, if I'm not dripping in sweat, like I didn't do an effective workout. But the thing is, with lifting, generally, like, you probably sweat a little less than if you're doing an intense cardio or like HIIT session, right? And so for me, the 12-3-30, I'm dripping every time I do it. And I love that, it makes me feel accomplished. But I've been working through the fact that I sweat less when I do weights, but it doesn't mean it was a bad workout. And there's other ways to know if it's effective, right? Like, if you're pushing yourself through failure, if you're feeling it the next day, which again, I guess soreness probably isn't the best measurement either, but the more you do this too, the more you kind of know what's challenging for you and when you are pushing your limits. So just kind of reinforcing the idea that sweat does not mean your workout was like effective or ineffective. First, we are doing RDLs with the bar. I normally do them with a kettlebell, but I want to try the bar. I actually really like this exercise, and I think it's becoming more and more natural to me, which is really awesome. The next thing I learned is that there are a million different exercises and a million different ways to do everything. It gets overwhelming. And like, I'm afraid, like, okay, am I not working this muscle enough? Am I not doing enough of this? Because again, I'm a beginner. Like, I don't know. But I do think when I move, I want to buy a plan so that someone else can make sure I am doing a good variety of things, right? Right now, it's like great to try different things out, get a feel for things, right? Just like learn. Like I said, I'm correcting my form. I'm doing a lot of work in the beginning, but I'm trying to not let it overwhelm me when I see, oh, this person's doing this, or like, you better do this exercise. Like, try not to let that get in your way. And then by buying a plan, I'm like, well, then it's not on me. Like, if you buy a plan from someone who knows what they're talking about and like has credentials, then it's like, okay, I won't feel overwhelmed about not hitting this muscle group enough and things like that. There's a lot out there, but don't let it intimidate you. I'm getting over that right now. Next is goblet squats. I have mixed emotions about this. I do wish I had a heavy enough dumbbell to hold because it would just be a lot more comfortable, but I just don't. That's okay. The next thing is that usually I can go up in weight way faster than I think. I don't know why, but I always think like the next one's gonna be way too heavy. Like, there's no way I could move up. There's just no way. But recently I went up in bench presses and like I did it just fine. Like, it was harder than the previous weight, of course. But I was thinking to myself, like, why didn't I do this weeks ago? It's such a mental thing, right? And this whole journey is like so mental. Your mind usually stops you or gives up before you do, right? Both challenging myself more, but also finding my limits, I feel like is hard. It's important to push through to failure on certain things, like lifting as heavy as you can. If that's not your goal, that's not your goal. But in this case, progressive overload, right? Like, I'm trying to lift as much as I can, And oftentimes I'm not doing that. I'm not pushing myself enough, but it takes a while to figure out what that even means, what that even feels like when you know what you can physically handle. So I'm learning that a lot. I think I just need to have more faith in myself. You know, like I can do it. I can do more. I can go up. Of course, be safe with it. I'm not saying like fully go before you're ready, but just knowing when I actually am ready. But for some reason, my mind is like, nah, you can't do that. You know, trying to overcome that is a battle. Bulgarian split squats, everyone's favorite. Can definitely feel this on like the outer glute. Oh. Whew. That was pushing myself. Definitely, which is great. I also learned that your dominant side versus non-dominant makes a big difference, both in like muscle, something might be a lot easier on one side, but also form. It's like I can stick the form on one side, it's so easy, and then I switch and I'm like, wait, what goes where? And some reverse lunges. And then I always just like to walk it out at the end. I'll do incline walking again, but I am so hungry. That's another thing I learned is I just burn through food so fast. I can like feel it in my workouts. I'll start my workout and then I'll get close to the end and I'm like, man, I need to eat. Like I'm hungry. And I just did a whole video about how exercise has like impacted and evolved my relationship with food, and I really like that video. I will put it in the cards and link it in the description. I think it's a really good one. It's another thing I've learned is like I eat so much more, which is not a bad thing as long as you're eating right, you're eating well, you're fueling, you're refueling. Like when you're working out, your body needs more. And so I don't feel bad eating more, but my intake is definitely more, but I also get way hungrier and I just feel like I burn through food fast. I feel like I have this newer motivation to eat more balanced meals just because I've been learning so much about like macros and how you really need carbs, fats, protein, all of it. It's clearly a bit later. He wants my apples so bad, which apples are something I do share with him, so like it's not his fault. And I gave him some when I was cutting them up, but like I kind of want the rest for me. Okay, fine. Clearly I showered and got ready and everything. I wanted to curl my hair like mainly for tomorrow. That's why it's so zingy still. I got a lot of work done, which is so great. I even had a second coffee, whatever, catching up to speed, but I'm hungry. So I have some apple slices. This is a Lara bar, if you've ever heard of those. And then I have some bone broth, because it's good for you. Collagen, gut health, all of that. And I just love to always be drinking something, you know? And I can't like always be drinking coffee all day. Anyways, the next thing I want to talk about that I've learned is not just my opinion or experience, it's like actual information, science-backed and stuff about weight training. So I found out it's actually pretty hard to both build muscle and lose fat at the same time. Not impossible, but it is difficult. If you really think about it though, it just makes sense. If you want to build muscle, you obviously have to be, you know, hitting the gym, whatever, but you have to be eating more in order to be building, to gain, you know, like you have to have your diet working with your gym to produce more. So it's like you need more fuel to have more outcome almost. Whereas when you're trying to lose fat, that's where the deficit comes in. Like I said, it's not impossible, but for someone who has a muscle building goal, their main priority is that, right? Building muscle. They may not be thinking like, oh, I have to also do these things to lose fat. Of course, a clean diet is always the best idea, but on one you might have a surplus, on one you might have a deficit. And that's why you hear people talking about bulking and cutting. I never thought I would know what those things meant, but it makes sense. A lot of times people will bulk, so they'll eat in a surplus, they'll try to build muscle, and then after that, however many weeks go by in their training program, they'll switch to a cut, which means they try to maintain that muscle, but they might do a little more cardio, focus more on a calorie deficit, and try to kind of lose the fat. And over time, after you go through several of these, you really start to have more muscle and lean out a ton. So it takes years and years probably to actually achieve, you know, like a muscular but lean physique if you're a very beginner like I am. But that's how the science works. And this just like blew my mind. So I know someone out there watching this had no idea how that stuff worked or what those words meant either. So I wanted to share because I actually do think it's really interesting. And it's fun to have different goals. You set out on one goal for so many weeks and then you switch it to the other one and you have different priorities, you're doing different workouts. Like, It's kind of cool. I also learned that a lot of people take advantage of the holidays and all the extra eating and stuff, and they treat the holiday season as like their bulking season because they're gonna be eating more anyway. So you're building muscle, you are gaining a little bit of fat with it, and then after the holidays are over and stuff, that's when they might go on a cut. So I don't know, that stuff is fascinating to me. These are all words I heard, but I would never think that like I would understand that or want to understand that, but like I like it. It's cool and just interesting to learn how the body and muscles and things like actually work. Obviously be careful when you do your research, trust valid sources, credentialed people, all of that. I have been down a rabbit hole this past month. It is walk time. I am now wearing my vest because my body is tired. However, let me transfer my safety equipment. And it's nice out. I have my all gray, steel gray from Talentless. Hi, baby. It is seriously so nice out, and I also need way more fresh air in my day, so this is great. Something else I've been hearing is that it seems like as a beginner, I have a good benefit with the whole body recomposition thing. Like because it's new to me, it sounds like it's almost easier to like put on muscle and lose the fat. Like when you're brand new to some sort of program or like the system or just like weight training in general, I guess. Like I think it's a little bit easier to start transforming your body compared to if you've been doing this for years, maybe you've hit some sort of plateau. So, I don't know, it sounds like beginners might have the upper hand, which is nice. I'm learning a lot. Maybe it's easy to grow, I don't know. Not easy, like not easy, it's not easy, but different than someone with a lot of experience and like easier to see results maybe, is kind of how I want to word it. It's what I've been seeing, hearing, reading, so. Go beginners. I'm not gonna show you me making dinner or anything, which I normally would, because I'm leaving and going to meet people and picking up Chick-fil-A on the way. I will, however, show you what I get, because they have a new sandwich. Life's about balance, right? But we have more to talk about when we get back. See you soon. I had the new pimento chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. It's very good. And for that nighttime sweet tooth, it is Ninja Creamy time. When I say I use this thing all the time, I am not kidding, okay? But this, I'm gonna make peanut butter ice cream. It's literally 200 calories and 29 grams of protein. Isn't that wild? All it is 1 cup of milk, a 1/4 cup of the powdered peanut butter, like the PB Fit, you know? And then I just did 1 little packet of like a 0-calorie sweetener. It's hard to do this with one hand while I'm holding my camera, but this is literally perfect. I make this all the time, so it's not groundbreaking for me, but it's so good. Not to sound like a gym bro, but the macros, incredible. But some other things that I've learned that are actual, like research based, that I don't necessarily know if I do, and that's another reason that I think it'd be smart to actually like buy a program to like make sure you're doing the right things, is that it is most effective when you're training a muscle group twice a week. So I think like the frequency matters. And like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing right now, but that is something to keep in mind and something that I hope to implement. Also, it seems like pushing yourself to failure is really, really good to do, and I personally don't think I'm doing that. Like earlier when I was doing like the first round of Bulgarian split squats and I like stood up at the end and I was like, oh my god, like that one, like that was good for me. But sometimes I feel like I do the exercise just to complete it and I don't do it to my full potential, and I need to be doing that more. Like that's just something I've noticed. But again, it's good that I'm paying attention to how I feel and what I can do, and I can just take that and learn from it, you know? Because I think when you do more things to failure and like give it your all, it will lead to better results. And too, like if you're gonna show up to the gym, like you might as well go all out for the amount of time you're there, you know? Say you're only there for 45 minutes, well that's 45 minutes out of the entire day. Like you might as well go hard. Seriously, the Ninja Creamy, I just love it. It is just wild though, like thinking about all that I've learned just in a few months and how things have changed for me so much. Prior to that, I just never really considered weights as being an option. Like I just never thought it would be something I should do, I could do, I wanted to do. And now it's like, it's just so different. Like it's crazy. That's why I'm always saying trial and error, trial and error. Like you just gotta try things. This summer, I took my own advice and I tried more things, and now I just am on a whole new journey. And it's cool. Time to finish getting ready for bed. It's about 10 o'clock, which I'm super happy about. Lately, I've been so much better about getting to bed around 10 versus like 11 or 12. And it honestly makes a huge difference because I do like to wake up fairly early. Which brings me to the next thing I learned. Starting my fitness journey like a couple years ago, actually losing weight and stuff, I mainly did cardio with a bit of resistance, right? This improved my sleep quality so much. Before that, I had a lot of like nighttime anxiety. I had trouble sleeping. I'd stay up really late. I wake up really early, whatever. When I started working out, I got to bed much quicker. I actually slept, whatever, when I was getting into cardio. Now I sleep great. Just like I already was doing. However, I feel like I have a newfound like appreciation and better like priority system for my sleep. I don't know, because I've been learning so much about how important sleep is. And I know that like rest and recovery is huge. Your muscles are working hard. The protein helps build them, right? But so does your rest and recovery. Like you need that time off to recover and to actually build your muscles. If you overtrain, you're overdoing it. It's too much stress on the body, right? The weight training puts stress on the body, but your sleep helps recover it. And I just feel like I have been so more into my sleep because I know that like sleeping more not only is helping me build in that sense and achieve my goals in that sense, but also it's so much better for your hunger. It will help your diet, like it balances your hunger hormones. Like it's just incredible. And I feel like the more deep I get into this whole journey, I truly am just prioritizing and appreciating sleep more and more and more. And like, no, I don't have kids. I know other people have different things going on that, you know, sometimes they can't have an amazing sleep schedule, but whatever you can do to prioritize it is just so important. I just have a newfound appreciation and I'm really happy about it. The other thing is protein. Okay, protein is literally everything. Like, I feel like this, again, has just been so reinforced with how important it is. Protein contains amino acids, which help build your muscles. Like, it just is like magical, and I wish that we learned this stuff in school because it's so important. Like, why don't we learn about living a healthy lifestyle in school? I mean, maybe they do now. Me talking as if I'm like super old. No, I mean, I've been out of college for literally 3 years, but I've been out of like high school and lower, so much longer. So I guess I don't really know, but that would be something so cool to learn about. And I feel like that stuff could really help people's like issues with food. You know, like girls growing up, it's hard. School is hard. Like there's so many things going on in your life. And I just feel like if we knew more about this stuff, I don't know, this could like help in so many areas of our life. It's kind of stupid that like I'm 25 and I'm learning about this now. Why didn't I realize how important sleep was until I was 23, 24 years old? Like that's just a long time to not understand that. Better now than never, better now than later, but still. The last really big thing I want to talk about, fuck the scale. Okay, I'm saying that because yes, my initial like journey was about losing weight, right? But when people say losing weight, they want to lose fat. That's what's going on. Like you want to lose fat. Sure, you want to be lighter in number, whatever. But like if you had to get more specific, people want to lose fat. Whether they just want fat loss, whether they want fat loss, muscle building, combination, whatever, like people want to lose fat. And I will say, I do feel like I've put on some weight as I'm trying to build muscle. Some of it's muscle, some of it probably is fat, and that's okay. My body's gonna fluctuate, and you know, maybe this is my first bulking season. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You know, I'm literally trying to figure this all out as I've been talking about this whole video. But I weighed myself the other day because we had a scale downstairs and I forgot I even owned a scale. I will never talk about my weight. Like sometimes I'll get comments and people will be like, what did you weigh in this video? What did you weigh this month? What did you weigh here? And I'm just like, you guys, I don't tell you that because I don't want you to compare, because it literally doesn't matter. What works for me is not guaranteed to work for you. I'm gonna encourage you to try things and maybe try what did work for me to see if it works for you if you want, if it's something I really believe in. But like at the end of the day, you don't need to know what I weigh. Like you just don't. Like that's just, you just like it literally doesn't matter. But my point, I like got on the scale the other day and I'm like not a crazy amount of pounds away from what I weighed when I was like overweight and before I lost weight. And the reason that doesn't scare me is because I don't look like that. Like I don't look anything like that. Yes, I do think I put on a little bit of fat, but also I don't look like that. I've also put on muscle. So if I'm trying to go through this whole recomp thing, it's just like, I don't know, I would be heavier while getting smaller and leaner, if that makes sense. Like my video diary I posted recently, I know this is a super long tangent, but if you're still listening, I love you, I appreciate you, and you're still listening, right? My video diary I did recently was me really getting back into this routine, and I've stuck with it for a few months. And in that video, I wasn't going for weight loss, right? But I was trying to keep building muscle, and by doing that, even if I'm putting on some fat in the long run, like I wasn't like getting fatter. I don't know if I know how to explain this. But like I feel fine right now is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to build muscle, and I think maybe once the new year starts, I'll probably like rework my routine and try to go on that like cut, try to figure out this whole thing. Like I don't know, it's so interesting to me and I just really like it, and it's a whole new journey that I've never experienced, which is why it's so interesting, and I can talk about it for like hours, especially from a beginner perspective. Like, these are all things I'm learning and experiencing firsthand, and it's just so cool and so interesting, and I just love it. And I wish I got into this like years ago, but it's never too late to start. If you made it this far, thank you. You are amazing. I love you. I appreciate you hearing me out. Let me know your thoughts. Like, if this was relatable at all to you, like what you think, where you are in your journey. Like, I don't know. I'm like amazed at life and like how this stuff works. And I appreciate people with more experience like commenting and helping me out and like telling me things, and I'm just like trying to take it all in, because this community is like so cool and means so much to me, and never in a million years did I think this is where I would be, this is what I'd be working on, this is like what would be going on in my life, and I can't even explain to you how much I appreciate it. And soon enough, when I go to a real gym for the first time, and I think I haven't been to an actual gym since my freshman year of college, which was 2016, 2017, 6 to 7 years. It'll be 7 years by the time I actually get to one. So I'm taking you with that experience. It's gonna be scary because like I don't want to film in the gym, especially as a newbie, but I want to experience it with you. So that being said, if you're still here and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Please subscribe. It helps me out literally so much. Come back for more videos. I want to see your name around here. I will see you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching from the bottom of my heart. I love you. I am rooting for you, and I'll see you in my next one.